The beloved TV show Moesha, 1996 to 2001, captured the hearts of millions with its vibrant cast and relatable storylines. However, behind the laughter and drama lies a tragic and often untold story. Over the years, many of the talented actors who graced the screen have faced untimely deaths, leaving fans in shock and sorrow. From sudden health issues to unfortunate accidents, the cast members' lives were cut short in ways no one could have predicted. In this revealing exploration, we dive deep into the lives of the 37 main Moesha cast members, uncovering the heartbreaking details of their tragic passings. Join us as we remember these unforgettable stars whose impact lives on, even though their time on Earth was brief. Lamont Bentley, born on October 25, 1973, was only 22 when he stepped into the role of Hakeem Campbell in Moesha in 1996. Hakeem, full of life, humor, and loyalty, was the kind of friend anyone would want by their side, and Bentley embodied that spirit with effortless charm. Off-screen, Bentley's life was a series of struggles that mirrored the misfortunes of the characters he portrayed. While his career started with promise, Bentley was caught in the whirlwind of Hollywood's temptations. He faced personal setbacks, including financial troubles and failed relationships, which tainted his once bright prospects. Though he never married, his relationships were often turbulent, and he lived with the heavy weight of personal regret. The most devastating blow came on January 19, 2005, when, at the age of 31, Bentley's life was tragically cut short in a car accident. His death left a void in the hearts of those who knew him and admired his talent. The loss of Lamont Bentley remains a deep sorrow for the world that had yet to see the full potential of his talent. Bernie Mack, born Bernard Jeffrey McCullough on October 5, 1957, in Chicago, was known for his roaring laughter and sharp wit, traits he brought to his role as Uncle Bernie in Moesha at 39. Behind the jokes lay a life riddled with challenges. Losing both parents at a young age, Mack found solace in comedy but faced years of struggle before fame embraced him. His marriage to Rhonda McCullough, his high school sweetheart, was one of his life's few constants, though their relationship endured trials, including his relentless work schedule and the loss of their first child at birth. While Bernie Mack eventually found success beyond Moesha, tragedy shadowed him. He was diagnosed with sarcoidosis, a debilitating illness that plagued him for years. Adding to his grief, his close friend and fellow comedian Robin Harris died unexpectedly, an event that deeply affected Mack. On August 9, 2008, complications from pneumonia ended his life at just 50 years old. Mack's death silenced one of comedy's most distinct voices, leaving an irreplaceable gap in the hearts of his fans and family. IET Wilson, a California native born on March 6, 1964, gave heart and humor to the role of Endell Wilkerson, the sharp-witted confidant in Moesha, at age 32. Though her character was a pillar of support, Wilson herself carried the weight of an unsteady personal life. She married record producer Jerome Harry, a union that, while initially promising, was strained by financial pressures and her deteriorating health. Wilson never had children, a silent heartbreak she rarely spoke of. After Moesha, her acting opportunities dwindled, leaving her to take on behind-the-scenes roles to make ends meet. She faced two profound sorrows: the loss of her sister to breast cancer and her own diagnosis with cervical cancer, which she battled with immense courage. Friends recall her as a fighter, but the disease claimed her life on June 14, 2012, at the age of 48. Her passing left a void not only in the entertainment world but also in the hearts of those who knew her indomitable spirit. Ricky Harris, born on October 5, 1962, at the age of 34, played J.W. in Moesha. J.W. was a charismatic, street-smart character, always brimming with confidence. He brought a sense of cool to the show, effortlessly blending into the urban environment. His character's swagger masked a deep vulnerability that Ricky himself would come to know in his own life. Though Moesha brought him fame, Ricky's career post-show was a constant battle. His attempts at expanding his horizons in both acting and music often fell short. He was known for his voice work, but the spotlight was elusive, and he never fully reclaimed the recognition he had during the show. In his personal life, Ricky experienced a series of painful relationships. He was married twice, and though he had children, the relationships were marred by separation and discord. The pain of broken bonds followed him into his final years. The most devastating loss came when he passed away suddenly on December 26, 2016, at the age of 54. A heart attack claimed his life, a reminder that even the strongest hearts can be fragile. Jeanette Du Bois, born on August 5, 1932, at the age of 65, portrayed Mrs. Moss in Moesha. Mrs. Moss was the wise, nurturing figure, always offering guidance and support to the younger characters. Jeanette was beloved for her ability to bring depth to every role she took on, but her real life was filled with as much hardship as it was triumph. In her earlier years, Jeanette fought against the limitations placed on black actresses in Hollywood, a fight that often left her on the sidelines. Her marriage was also fraught with challenges, eventually ending in divorce. Jeanette struggled with feelings of loneliness, though she always maintained a positive public image. However, the years of unspoken pain caught up with her. Jeanette's passing on February 17, 2020, at the age of 87, due to natural causes, was a quiet end to a lifetime of fighting battles, both on and off the screen. Her legacy, though, lives on through her memorable performances, particularly as Mrs. Moss, a reminder of the love and wisdom she offered to all. Merlin Santana, born on March 14, 1976, was only 20 when he portrayed Ohagi in Moesha. Ohagi, with his charm and confidence, quickly became a fan favorite. His infectious smile and easygoing attitude made him a key part of the show. But Merlin's path after the show was not as smooth. Despite his early success, he struggled to find consistent work in the industry, with many of his post-Moesha projects failing to take off. In his personal life, Merlin's relationships were marked by turbulence. He was never able to find lasting love, and the pain of romantic disappointments weighed heavily on him. Yet it was the tragic event on November 9, 2002, that truly sealed his fate. At the young age of 26, Merlin was shot and killed in a robbery attempt while sitting in a car in Los Angeles. His untimely death shattered not only his family but his fans as well. Merlin's life ended abruptly, a reminder of the fragility of life, and the darkness that sometimes follows even the brightest stars. Lee Chamberlain, born on February 14, 1938, was 61 years old when she joined the cast of Moesha in 1996, playing Mrs. Levos. Mrs. Levos was a calm, wise, and nurturing figure who offered guidance to the younger characters, embodying a motherly presence in the show. Despite her successful career in theater and television, Chamberlain's life outside of acting was fraught with hardship. She struggled with personal loss, facing the passing of close friends and relatives over the years, a burden that weighed heavily on her. Her marriage to jazz musician David Baker ended in divorce after many years of emotional turmoil, and though they had a son together, their relationship had been torn apart by miscommunication and distance. Chamberlain had another painful experience when she was diagnosed with breast cancer in the early 2000s, which would shadow her for the rest of her life. As her health deteriorated, she spent her last years in relative seclusion, reflecting on the struggles of her past and the love she had for her son. She passed away on May 25, 2014, at the age of 76, succumbing to cancer. Denise Dow's portrayal of Hattie in Moesha showcased a woman of compassion, warmth, and unwavering love for her friends and family. At 42, Dow's Hattie was a central figure who brought comfort and care to those in need. However, Dow's own life was one of much emotional pain, with struggles that mirrored the heartache of her beloved character. After enduring a tumultuous and short-lived marriage, Dow's found herself alone in her later years, her heart scarred by the wounds of love lost. Her career had its ups and downs, as she found herself often relegated to supporting roles, never fully breaking through the glass ceiling of Hollywood's limited opportunities for women of color. Her family life, too, was marked by tragedy. She lost a sibling far too soon, leaving a hole in her heart that never fully healed. The battle with her own health was a silent one, and she later succumbed to meningitis on August 13, 2022, at the age of 64. The final chapter of her life was one of quiet sorrow, with only her closest friends and family by her side, remembering the compassionate spirit she had shared with the world. Robert Guillaume's portrayal of Arthur in Moesha was one of unwavering kindness and dedication, a man who always had the right words of encouragement and support for those around him. At 72, Guillaume brought Arthur to life as a figure of wisdom and patience. But behind the camera, his life was a struggle with both personal demons and professional setbacks. His early career was a battle against systemic racism, and though he achieved success in Moesha, it came after years of underappreciation. His marriage to his first wife, Marlene, ended in divorce, leaving him heartbroken and questioning his worth as both a partner and a father. His second marriage, to Donna Brown, also faced hardships, with Guillaume at times struggling with the weight of his own emotions and unresolved trauma. The challenges didn't end with his professional life, as Guillaume was later diagnosed with prostate cancer, a battle that would take him from the stage and his loved ones. He passed away on October 24, 2017, at 89. Estelle Harris, born on April 22, 1928, brought her unique charm to the role of Frances Howie in Moesha, 1996 to 2001. At the age of 69, she portrayed the character with humor and liveliness, winning the hearts of fans with her sharp wit and vibrant presence. Frances Howie was an unforgettable, slightly quirky character who added warmth and fun to the show, often providing comic relief. Despite her acting success, Estelle's career had its ups and downs, often struggling to find roles that captured her true potential. She faced periods of professional obscurity, overshadowed by others in the industry. Her personal life mirrored some of her on-screen characters' challenges. She married in her early 20s and had 3 children. However, her relationships were not without strife, and she endured the heartache of a troubled marriage. Estelle faced 2 great tragedies, losing her firstborn son in a tragic accident, a grief that consumed her for years, and later, the illness of her husband, which left her in a prolonged state of emotional isolation. Her passing on April 2, 2022, at the age of 93, due to natural causes. Anthony Johnson, born on February 1, 1966, was 30 years old when he took on the role of G-Dog in Moesha. G-Dog was a charismatic and street-smart character, who brought an edge to the show. His charm and authenticity made him a fan favorite, even though his role was relatively small. However, Johnson's career never reached the heights he had hoped for. Despite his undeniable talent, he struggled to find consistent work in Hollywood, often relegated to smaller roles. In his personal life, Johnson faced a series of tumultuous relationships. His marriage to his high school sweetheart ended in divorce after years of emotional strain. Though he had children, his relationship with them was often strained due to his own personal demons. The greatest tragedy of Anthony's life came when he lost his beloved sister to cancer, a blow from which he never fully recovered. His battle with health problems escalated in his later years, ultimately leading to his untimely death. On September 6, 2021, at the age of 55, Anthony Johnson passed away from multisystem organ failure. His death left an emotional void for his loved ones. Vivien Bonell, born on May 23, 1924, portrayed the kind and nurturing Mrs. Smith in Moesha at the age of 72. Mrs. Smith, with her warmth and wisdom, quickly became a beloved character, offering guidance and comfort to the younger generation around her. Despite this, Vivien's own life was far from easy. A talented actress in her youth, she found it difficult to find steady work in Hollywood as she grew older. Her career never quite reached the heights she had hoped for, and she spent much of her life struggling to maintain financial stability. Her marriage to a man who was a successful doctor fell apart after years of emotional neglect and infidelity, leaving her to raise her 2 children alone. The separation took an immense toll on her, and she struggled with feelings of inadequacy and loneliness. In her later years, Vivien faced the heart-wrenching loss of her youngest son to a drug overdose, a tragedy that shattered her. Battling diabetes for much of her later years, her health deteriorated rapidly. Vivien passed away on November 18, 2003, at the age of 79, due to complications from diabetes. Kobe Bryant, born on August 23, 1978, was only 18 when he appeared as Terry Hightower in Moesha. Terry was a determined and talented athlete, whose dedication and ambition were clear from the very first moment he stepped onto the screen. Though his role was minor compared to his monumental achievements on the basketball court, Bryant brought a sense of passion and drive to the character. In real life, his career was nothing short of extraordinary, but it was not without struggle. Even at the peak of his success, Bryant faced challenges both on and off the court. He experienced public scrutiny during a highly publicized legal battle in 2003, which cast a shadow on his image. His marriage to Vanessa Lane in 2001, while initially marked by happiness, endured its own trials, including rumors of infidelity and a public separation before they reconciled. The pair had 4 daughters, and Bryant's life became centered around them, especially after the birth of his youngest daughter, Capri. Tragically, Kobe's life was cut short in a helicopter crash on January 26, 2020, at the age of 41, alongside his 13-year-old daughter Gianna. Jim Lang, born on August 15, 1932, made a memorable appearance as himself in Moesha at the age of 66. Known as a charismatic and popular television host, Lang had built a successful career on shows like The Dating Game. His role as himself in the series was a natural fit, bringing his signature charm to the screen. However, behind the scenes, Jim's life was far from as glamorous as his public persona. Despite his success, he struggled with bouts of professional instability, as the changing landscape of television made his once thriving career falter. His personal life, too, was marked by heartache. His first marriage ended in a bitter divorce after he found out his wife had been unfaithful. Later, his second marriage was no easier, as he faced emotional distance and a lack of understanding from his partner. Jim had 2 children, but his strained relationships with them left him often feeling disconnected. The most devastating blow came when he was diagnosed with heart disease, a condition that would eventually take his life. Jim Lang passed away on February 25, 2014, at the age of 81, from a heart attack. Nick DeOrro, born on January 1, 1940, played the strict and authoritative Mr. Carboni in Moesha at the age of 58. Mr. Carboni, with his no-nonsense attitude, stood in stark contrast to the more easygoing characters on the show. While his role was memorable, Nick's own life was filled with personal and professional turmoil. Despite his talent, he struggled to secure consistent work in Hollywood, and his career took a backseat to financial struggles. His marriage to his wife, Susan, ended after nearly 2 decades, a result of constant arguments and emotional distance. The dissolution of his family left him with a sense of failure that he never fully overcame. To make matters worse, Nick's relationship with his only daughter became strained, as she rebelled against his strict ways. 2 major tragedies defined his life: the loss of his father to cancer and the devastating blow of his own health problems in his later years. Nick suffered a heart attack shortly before his death, but the toll of his emotional and physical suffering had already set in. He passed away on December 31, 2000, at the age of 60, due to natural causes. Julius Cary was born on March 12, 1952, and his role as Mr. Fillmore in Moesha, 1996 to 2001, marked a significant point in his career. At the age of 47, he portrayed a no-nonsense character with a tough exterior, someone who wasn't easily swayed and always stuck to his principles. However, in real life, Cary's career was marked by a series of setbacks. After some early successes, including notable roles in The Last Dragon and The Brothers series, he faced difficulties finding substantial work in Hollywood. His career never quite hit the heights it could have, and he often had to accept minor roles in television and film. Despite his challenges on screen, Cary was a devoted family man. He married and had children, but his personal life was marked by turbulence, including struggles with mental health and the impact of his father's passing on him. His life seemed to echo the sorrowful fate of his most prominent characters, always fighting, always struggling. In the end, Cary's greatest battle was with his own body, as he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. His death on August 19, 2008, at the age of 56. Big Pun, born on November 10, 1971, was just 27 when he appeared in Moesha, 1998, as himself. At the time, his career was on an upward trajectory, having made a name for himself as a talented and influential rapper, particularly through his debut album, Capital Punishment. However, Big Pun's personal life was riddled with contradictions. His success in music came at a cost, his weight spiraled out of control due to his love for food, and his struggles with his health only worsened. Though married to Liza Rios, with whom he had 3 children, his relationship was strained by infidelity and the pressures of fame. His excesses in lifestyle caught up with him, and in the early morning hours of February 7, 2000, at the age of 28, Big Pun tragically passed away from a heart attack, a result of his years of unhealthy living. His death sent shockwaves through the hip-hop community, leaving many to wonder what might have been had he taken a different path. His legacy, though immortalized through music, was marred by the sadness of a life cut far too short. Nancy Wilson, born on February 20, 1937, played herself on Moesha at the age of 59. A legendary jazz singer and actress, Wilson's life was a complex interplay of triumph and heartache. She built a career that spanned decades, with a voice that captivated millions. But fame did not shield her from personal pain. She had been married twice, and her relationships were often tumultuous. Her first marriage to trumpet player Wiley "Nick" Nicholson ended in divorce, as did her second marriage to management consultant and former FBI agent, Harold F. Beasley. Despite the breakdown of her relationships, Wilson found solace in her music, her true love. However, her personal life was overshadowed by the tragic loss of her only son, who passed away unexpectedly at a young age, leaving Wilson devastated. For years, she struggled with the grief, but her career continued to thrive. Still, the ghosts of her personal tragedies lingered. After battling a long illness, she passed away on December 13, 2018, at the age of 81. DMX, born Earl Simmons on December 18, 1970, was 30 when he appeared on Moesha in 2000, playing a version of himself. A successful rapper, DMX's life was a roller coaster of success and struggle. Known for his raw, gritty music, his personal life was plagued by addiction and legal issues. His marriage to Tashra Simmons, with whom he had 4 children, ended in divorce due to his infidelity and drug problems. Despite several attempts to get clean, DMX's life remained turbulent, and he fathered multiple children with other women. In 2019, DMX suffered a near-fatal overdose that left him in a coma for a week, but he survived. However, his health continued to deteriorate. On April 9, 2021, DMX passed away from a heart attack, which was linked to the overdose. He was 50. His death marked the end of a troubled life but also left a lasting impact on the music industry, as his unique voice and painful struggles resonated with many fans. Charlie Hill, born on July 6, 1951, brought a sense of wisdom and humor to his role as Robert in Moesha, a character who served as a father figure and offered advice to the main cast. Hill, who was 45 at the time of his portrayal, had a long career in entertainment, initially gaining recognition as one of the first Native American comedians to break into mainstream television. His path to success, however, was not without struggle. Hill, who had a deep connection to his heritage, faced personal and professional challenges, including difficulty finding roles that reflected his true identity. Despite his success as a comedian and actor, including his memorable performance in Moesha, he battled with depression and the pressures of fame. In his personal life, Hill married twice and had 3 children. His relationships were often complicated, and while he was devoted to his family, the toll of his career and public scrutiny left him with a sense of isolation. A devout family man, Charlie's final years were marked by a long fight against lymphoma, a disease he would succumb to on December 30, 2013, at the age of 62. Tom Lister Jr., born on June 24, 1958, made a brief but memorable appearance in Moesha as security guard number 2 at the age of 38. His imposing frame and deep voice made him a recognizable face in Hollywood, often cast in roles that required a physically strong presence. Despite the roles that earned him recognition, Lister's career never reached the heights he had hoped for. His career was full of typecast roles and missed opportunities, leaving him to navigate the frustration of unfulfilled potential. His personal life, too, was a series of struggles. Lister, who had been married twice, had a daughter and a son, both of whom he was deeply devoted to. However, his relationships were marked by strains that came with balancing fame and personal life. Lister also faced health issues, with his weight and heart problems becoming a growing concern. He was a larger-than-life figure, but his health was quietly deteriorating. In December 2020, Lister's heart finally gave out, and he passed away on December 10, 2020, at the age of 62. The cause was heart disease, which had taken a toll on him in his later years. What are your thoughts on the loss of the beloved actors from Moesha? Which of them do you miss the most? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to stay updated with our newest videos.